I need the algorithm.
The algorithms that they've incorporated function on the most powerful way to keep people doing a behavior, or an animal for that matter, is a random intermittent reward.
Creativity can be defined as the use of one's imagination or original ideas to produce artistic work. But we can all probably agree that it seems to be lacking in a lot of the content out there.
The thumbnails look the same. A lot of the concepts look the same.
I know.
Everything sounds the same.
Social media has given everyone the power to create and make a living doing so. But in order to do that, you need to keep the algorithm happy. This has resulted in a lot of people making things to go viral instead of making things that they really want.
Think about it this way. A grocery store like this one only knows what you are interested in once you've bought something. But a social media company knows every time you pause, even for a moment, to look at anything. And it constantly reorganizes the store to be more attractive to you.
Which means the algorithm decides what content gets shown to viewers. But how does it make that decision?
Cents per reach. Of the people who saw it, how many of them sent it to a friend?
You are voting with your thumbs, by watching a video, by swiping it, by liking it, by sharing it. You are basically exhibiting interest signals. And what it does mathematically is to take those signals, put it in a formula, and then matches it through pattern recognition.
Or your ability to create conversation, which doesn't always have to be positive.
And the whole promise of the internet is that we should be celebrating niche interests.
Sadly, this isn't always the case. The algorithm is great. It allows us to discover new content that we might love, and it also helps new creators build a following. But it doesn't always incentivize creators to make good content to gain viewership.
A good way to get views is to make people angry.
If you want to succeed on TikTok or Instagram, or media in general for that matter, there are two routes you can take. Do something that's so good it makes people want to talk about it or watch all the way through. Or do things that are designed to create conversation or outrage. And the algorithm will push your content.
Rage baiting, rage farming, and rage posting are essentially the act of creating and posting content, video or otherwise, designed specifically to boil the blood and suck people into engaging.
And that's where the problem starts, when we start creating with the purpose of getting a certain reaction.
We're not smart enough to know what someone else is going to like. It's a bad way to play the game of music or art. You have to do what's personal to you, take it as far as you could go, really push the boundaries, and people will resonate with it if they're supposed to resonate with it.
There's nothing wrong with optimizing your art so it's more accessible for an audience. But many creators out there are almost selling their souls to get more views. And you'll see this trend on just about any platform that offers financial incentives to creators for views. But can we really just blame creators for this?
We are vessels of our own space and time, so the particular things we create have to do with what we have absorbed.
So much of what we create has to do with what we're taking in. And as of late, a lot of what we're taking in is fed to us by the algorithm. And the impact it can have on you can be pretty twisted.
I felt as though these dreams I was chasing, they weren't mine. They've been placed on me, conditioned in me.
Have you ever caught yourself developing a desire for things that really have nothing to do with you?
Memetic Desire means that we're adopting another person's desire as our own, usually without even realizing that we're doing it.
Social media has made our worlds way bigger than they ever used to be. And that results in so many things being thrown at us that it's very easy to get confused and lose touch with ourselves. You see, our creativity is an extension of who we are.
If it's a pure expression of yourself, no matter what it is, or what medium, it's gonna shine, it's gonna resonate.
The state of media nowadays can often feel a little grim. But there are many creators that are going against these rules and carving their own path. They are still choosing to take risks and go against the grain to keep their artistic integrity, and finding great success. I wish I could say I was above this, but I find myself falling into this trap time and time again. But I do know that it's rare that I see things on the internet that actually make me feel good, especially when I just let the algorithm decide what I see. As we give up more and more control over what we see or listen to, it feels like we steer further away from the things that truly matter to us. Creativity is often attached to art, but it goes much beyond that.
if you want to live in a creative way, which will benefit everything in your life, be a better person in your family, do a better job of starting a new business, it's all the same. It's more a way of looking at the world. We're all creators.
So I feel like it's important that we protect our creative selves and give ourselves the opportunity to pursue our own ideas and passions instead of letting an algorithm decide that for us. The how is tough. I know it can feel overwhelming, and I wish I had answers for you guys. Social media wasn't given to us with a user manual, and we are the first generation that has experienced it in this capacity. So before anything, we need to give ourselves some grace. As individuals, we can't change the way these platforms work, but we can definitely change the way we interact with them. Obviously, there's no straightforward way to protect ourselves from how social media platforms are affecting our lives. Plus, I'm sure the solution would look different for different people. But we can't just let it ruin our brains. One thing I'm gonna start doing is being more mindful of what I consume. Scrolling through Instagram or TikTok feels like handing your life to the algorithm, but we can take control and decide what we watch or listen to on our own. We don't need to rely on an algorithm to keep us entertained. I'm sure it's not gonna be easy, and I know that we will fail over and over again, but I feel like to reach our real potential, it's worth a try.